I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for Life in UK test, part 465. While doing a lunch training, and if you participate in a lunch training, that is at your own risk. Did we skip something? No, here it is. The Bill of Rights. So we already did it in the 464 previous videos. Now we're going through the book and looking always at a little thing to be able to present one little subject then. Now the Bill of Rights, I think, catches your eye. So the Bill of Rights. And now I'm going to try to prepare the next 3-4 minutes a little video which we will record in 3-4 minutes. We are going to explain it all down for people who want to listen to it. The Bill of Rights, it was done in the year 1689. In this case, it would actually start also with the date. Everyone does it. Everyone will be confused with this big number to remember the number. And the brain is already occupied and can't listen to the text. But I think I would do it also. Maybe when I end with it. It limited the rights of a monarch and said what rights the parliament had. What did it? Exactly, the parliament. It limited and it assured and it said what rights the parliament had. Let's express it as simple as possible. And said what rights the parliament had. Now, for example, the king had now to ask every year the parliament for new money for the army and for the navy. And it was also declared at the time that the king has to be a Protestant now. Is that obvious? Yes, we could say what it meant. And now, because the king needed the approval of parliament, he needed to persuade, to communicate, to have a diplomatic relationship, to talk, to have converse, have a word exchange with the parliament. And so he became more and more reliant on advisors and ministers. Now I'm explaining way more to party politics than it is. The Bill of Rights, what have you in the parliament. Okay, we don't need really would include the Prime Minister. At the time also, the first political parties formed, for example, the Whigs and Tories. So he needed advisors and ministers to get a majority, to get the people vote for him, to get it with the people of the parliament did what he wanted them to do. I need different expressions. So they were agreeing to his proposals, that they had the same opinion on subjects, needed advisors and ministers. So to get a majority in the House of Lords, in the House of Commons, in both, so I can name both, okay. And then the Whigs and Tories formed, and that was the beginning of party politics. Do we get that here, or do we do the video constitutional monarchy? No. Do we add with the newspapers? Let's add with the newspapers. And also, free press started to develop. Newspapers were from 1695, no longer obliged to have a government license, and they could just publish newspapers. Now we're claiming more to the, we're going to do a second video to the Bill of Rights, just this thing with the newspapers. I don't know. Second video to the constitutional monarchy, that is not part of the Bill of Rights, with the voting, that we can't add that, and also the ground population. We're going to do at least one for that. And then also to the ministers. It happened then, around 30 years later, that another king was on the throne. He happened to be German, and he needed even more reliance. He was even in more reliance on his ministers, and to be able to talk to the Parliament. And the most important one was the Prime Minister. And that was the first one, Sir Robert Walpole. And he was Prime Minister from 1721 until 1741. 1742. Okay, now we're trying to shoot the video. We have time for around 2 takes. I'm going to start. I have a second camera. And there we will try to shoot now a little video about the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights, they were done in the year 1689, and they said how much power the Parliament has, and it limited the power of a monarch. For example, the king had now to ask every year for new money for the army and the navy. So the Bill of Rights said what power the Parliament had and limited the power the king had. And that was also, I forgot how it got on. Directly the thing with the ministers and advisors. And the thing with the newspaper, 1695. That not, and then directly the thing with the Bill of Rights. It was in the year 1689. So the Bill of Rights said what power the Parliament has, and it limited the rights of the monarch. For example, from now on, through the Bill of Rights, the monarch had to ask every year for new money from the Parliament to fund the army and the navy. And also during the time, the king or the monarch became more reliant on advisors and ministers, because now he needed the approval of the Parliament. He needed to say to the Parliament that they could have to do what he wanted, and they had to agree to it. So he was more in reliance on ministers and advisors. And also the first political parties, the Whigs and Tories, started to be established in the Parliament. Also during the time, the newspaper started and the free press started. In the year 1695, the newspapers could publish without a government license. And this reliance on the Parliament to get them to approve, as was said in the Bill of Rights, that the king needed the approval of the Parliament to certain things, for example, the money for the army and navy, that became then more important 30 years later when George I was on the throne. George I, he was a German, and he couldn't speak good English, so he was more in reliance on his ministers and advisors to talk to the people of the Parliament that they were agreeing to the things he wanted to do in the country. And now one of his ministers got more and more important, and that was then called to that person the Prime Minister. And the first one was Sir Robert Walpole, and he was Prime Minister from 1721 until 1742. So the Bill of Rights, 1689, said what power Parliament has and limited the rights of a king. And that is according to the Life in UK Test Handbook, page 33 and 34. I think people looking for Bill of Rights video will find a different one than the other one they will find. Maybe you would like it. Now, I will stop the second camera. And we will continue now with lunch training. If you're just here for the next subject, maybe the constitutional monarchy or beginner voting or something like that, then you can go directly to the next part. We will do now just the lunch training to participate in that with the city on this. First exercise, we're warming up. We're bringing one leg up, the greeting mushroom, and we're pointing the foot and we're flexing, standing, flexing, standing, flexing, standing. The other leg up, and we're bringing the foot up and down, up. Next exercise, legs wide apart, we're breathing the arm down. And out. Again in. And out. In. And out. Now breathe in and cross the legs. And out. First exercise. A 6-back squat squeeze. We're going down into quarter squat, legs are standing wide apart, and we're pressing against the upper part of the upper leg. Now on your side. We're going down into half squat, and we're pressing again the middle part of the leg. And on the other side. Always just with one hand. Because we want the rotation to train the serratus anterior and the obliques. If you do it with two, there's no rotation. So going down, 3/4 squat, and we're pressing close to the knee. And on the other side. We're a bit short on time, so we're going directly over. Next exercise, 3/4 squat. We're pressing against the knee, and we're going towards the knee. On the other side, press against the knee, go towards the knee. That is the fastest giraffe of water pond. And we're going towards the knee. And on the other side, again it. And the last one, over to the propeller. Arms at the outside, we're breathing in. No, you can breathe in. We're going over to one side, we're looking up to the hand and we're pressing against the leg. Have a little bend in that elbow. Over in the middle, over to the side, press against the leg, a little bend in the elbow, look up to the head. The middle, up. Next exercise. We're going into 90-90 lunge, so both legs are having 90 and 90 degrees. We're tall off of the back and we're pressing from the inside against the knee. We're going over to the other side, 90-90 lunge, tall off of the back, and we're pressing from the inside against the knee. And back. Now, 90-135 degree lunge, tall off of the back, and we're pulling the leg up. And over to the other side. 90-135 degree lunge, tall off of the back, and we're pulling the leg up. Next exercise, 90-150 degree lunge, tall off of the back, and we're pulling at the top of the shin bone. Over to the other side, 90-150 degree lunge, tall off of the back, and we're pulling at the top of the shin bone. Last exercise, the rock jumper. Into full lunge, tall off of the back, and we're pulling at the top of the shin. Over to the other side. Full lunge, tall off of the back, and we're pulling at the top of the shin. And over stretching. One leg with the heel to the ground, and we're pulling the toes a little bit up. The other leg, heel onto the ground, pull the toes a bit up. And we're coming up, we're doing the crab in the morning. The legs are standing a bit over the shoulders wide apart. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And out, we're leaning back, opening the chest to the sky. Again, in the arms up. And out the arms down. In the arms up. Close the feet. And breathe out and lean back. The sheet in the wind. Again, in into the middle. And out, lean again back. Again, in into the middle. And out the arms down. Now, we are going down. And now, bend the left leg, and bring the heel of the right leg to the right, and turn with the body to the right. Now cut the toes of the right leg to the right, and turn with the body to the left. Both legs again straight, and just down. Now bend the right knee. Bring the heel of the left leg to the left and turn the body to the left. Bring the toes of the left leg to the left and turn the body to the right. Both legs straight and just down. And then breathing in, doing the up down swan, closing the hands and lowering them down. That is our lunch training. I thank you very much, and until next time.